Hey everybody, welcome back to the Film Fan Club. I'm Sam Carrico with a brand new movie news dump for September 12th, 2017. We've got some breaking news to start us off today. I knew there was a reason I put off shooting this yesterday. After last week's shocking announcement that director Colin Trevorrow is off Star Wars Episode 9, Lucasfilm revealed this morning that The Force Awakens director J.J. Abrams will be returning to helm the final installment of the sequel trilogy. Producer Kathy Kennedy said in a press release on StarWars.com, quote, "With The Force Awakens, JJ delivered everything we could have possibly hoped for. I'm so excited that he's coming back to close out this trilogy." The release also says that Abrams will be co-writing the film with Justice League scribe Chris Terrio, which makes me even more excited for that film if Terrio's script for Justice League was so good that they brought him on to do Star Wars. Abrams returning is a mixed bag for me though. I've previously talked about how I enjoyed Star Wars The Force Awakens, but it seemed to play it safe in a lot of areas and kind of rehash. I don't like the word rehash, but it did kind of use a lot of the same elements and a lot of the same story beats that A New Hope used. That is kind of a fact. So, I mean, a lot of people are kind of worried that since Abrams directed that film and he's directing the 9th film, maybe he might use a lot of the same elements from Return of the Jedi. Just because he loves the original trilogy so much, he wouldn't be able to kind of separate himself. I don't really think that's as much of an issue as it could be. I'm still really excited that they've got a really good director to be on board for Episode 9. It's something they needed. I would have preferred Rian Johnson, but according to Deadline, they approached Rian Johnson. Disney actually approached Rian Johnson first. He said no because he's still working on Episode 8 and wrapping that up, and it would probably be a really grueling process to go right on into Episode 9, which is another giant tentpole film. It makes sense that JJ, who's had this time off in between shoots, would want to come back and would be able to come back. He's the smartest decision, I think, behind the scenes, but for the production overall, for Disney, for Lucasfilm, and he's a good director, like I said before. I'm just hoping that he kind of switches it up, and I'm sure a lot of the points that I made about The Force Awakens were the studio's influence, Kathy Kennedy's influence as well, them wanting to make sure they got as many people to go see that film as they could, and make sure it's different from the prequels and whatnot. Hopefully with Episode 9, with a lot of the movies under their belt now, a few years into the new Lucasfilm Disney regime, I think that they'll give a little bit more creativity to J.J. Abrams, and we'll really get to see kind of his true vision for a Star Wars film kind of come through, even maybe more so than The Force Awakens. So I think that this could really be, this has some really good potential, even though I would have maybe preferred Rian Johnson to come back and direct. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. The movie comes out May 2019. Well, saying that the new It movie had a good opening weekend would be an understatement. The latest Stephen King adaptation brought in $185 million worldwide over the weekend, making it the biggest debut for any film in the horror genre. The previous record holder was Paranormal Activity 3, which brought in a measly $52.6 million. This blows that out of the water, and the industry really kind of needed it too. We've previously talked about a box office lull that seemed to close out the summer season, with it making $185 million on a $30 million budget. In September, nonetheless, that's definitely a win. We plan on reviewing the movie this week. It's in theaters, so make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. It looks like next year's Deadpool 2 won't be the last time we see the Merc with a Mouth and his buddy Cable. Deadline reported last week that Drew Goddard has been set to write and direct an X-Force movie for Fox. In the comics, the X-Force were more like a militant kind of wing of the X-Men, so it's very possible that this movie, like Deadpool, could be rated R for violence. Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin are expected to return. As for Drew Goddard, he previously helped develop the Daredevil show on Netflix and was going to direct Sony's Sinister Six movie before the project was scrapped. He'll be directing Bad Times at the El Royale next for Fox, and is expected to move right on into X-Force afterwards. But like I said earlier, the next time you can see Deadpool and Cable in theaters will be Deadpool 2, which comes out June of next year. Well, that's your movie news dump for this week, guys. Thanks so much for checking it out. If you liked it, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more. I'll see you in the next video.